right, welcome back to Season 3, another episode of the Weeb Retreat Podcast. We hope you enjoy your stay. We are the Weebs, your hosts. My name is James. This is Germs. And today, as always, we have a lot to talk about. How you doing this week, Germs?
Doing good, doing good. A lot of studying, unfortunately, but still got to have time to watch my animes, you know?
Yeah, always have to have time to watch your animes. All right, so let's go over the roundup for this week. We have a great show for you guys. We are going to talk about Demon Slayer Mugen Train, as always, Mushoku Tensei, as always. We are going to get caught up with My Senpai is Annoying and Komi Can't Communicate. We did not talk about them last week. We will talk about last week's episode and this week's episode as well. And then we have two pieces of news to discuss with you guys. We have a update for Made in Abyss, second season, and JOJO Part 6, a manga announcement. Lots of JOJO news recently. So we have a great show for you guys. Drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. If you're not already subscribed, use the slider down below to get to your favorite section. And with that, we're going to get right into the podcast. Let's get into the weekly roundup. Demon Slayer Mugen Train Arc. Episode 6, that's 6 out of 7. We got one left. What did you make of Mugen Train this week?
You know, right from the get-go on that first scene, they were like, we have to re-show the gang that beautiful animation that we added. They're like, we have to add it back in right to the beginning of the episode, just for the fun of it. And then then we got right into the action again with the Akuma. That's what his name was.
Akaza.
Akaza. Yeah. So, just as wild as I remember it. Like when you try to go right for Tanjiro, he's like, he's weak. You gotta take him out. He's gonna interrupt our fight. And then the back and forth was nice and spicy. How I remember. So it's just as good as I remember. Very beautiful to experience and watch again.
Yeah, I think for anime onlys, their minds are gonna be blown this week. It's like you thought that it was kind of over there, but no, this is the actual third act. The actual third act starts here. Enmu is just kind of the climax of the second act. Now we have a whole other villain, but Enmu has been taking care of Akaza out of nowhere. We could get nitpicky here, but really out of nowhere. He just shows up and is here to do some damage. I gotta say, man, these episodes fly by so quick, man. I start them and I finish them, and I'm just like, that felt like 5 minutes. Okay, that felt like 5 minutes. So, yeah, good action. I think like when Goku had his fire, fire. You know how their moves sort of stand out. Like he had the tiger come out of his flames. I think that was new. I don't think that was in the movie. But it might have been in the movie. I might be wrong. But yeah, I mean, just action. Just a full-on action episode. No wasting time, Good stuff, right?
Yeah, not much story-wise, really. But, it's the, Rengoku versus, he's like, I don't want to, turn into a demon, The beauty of humans is, we don't live on forever, That kind of, his little spiel there. That's the only real story we got here. But yeah, let's go talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about the substance, I guess, because that's the only real thing to bite on here, other than the beautiful animation. But we could talk about that every week with the show. I mean, even if there's not a lot of story going on, Ufotable always gives us great animation. But yeah, so they have conflicting principles in life. Akaza is a demon, and he wants Rengoku to join the dark side. He's like, come with me. You can be stronger. You can keep training for 100, maybe 200 years. You don't have to be a lowly human. And Rengoku, speaks to his nobility, says no. Part of the beauty, like you said, of human life is that it's not here forever, and that's why we have to cherish it and live noble lives. And, goes to show that even in, Rengoku will never be tempted, He just has too much of a strong conviction to not join the demons, and commit evil. It's like the classic good versus evil, but, it's good to see an element of temptation here, but Rengoku doesn't bite. He doesn't even consider it. He's just like, no way.
Yeah, not even like the slightest. It's like no. He doesn't even. Not even wasting a breath on it. And he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna ever be like you.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think that's why people love him, right? That's why people love him.
And and he was like, "Oh, Tanjiro," the Akaza was like, "Oh, look at that trash," but he's like, no, 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 that he's my boy, he's got potential. He's a strong, strong, strong lad. So it was, that also there a little bit there as well. And then with the Inosuke, he's like, I can't even like see a possible opening at all. They're just too too fast.
They're going too quick. They're going too quick. There's levels to this game, There's levels. So yeah, I mean, good episode, right? Just action, just I think next week's episode, that's when shit hits the fan. That's when the anime onlys will be like, whoa, it's a huge, huge climax to this season, whatever you want to call it, retelling of the Mugen Train. But if you're an anime only, it's like this came out of nowhere, like they didn't even hint at.
Well, it came out in the movie as well. It was like we were just like, oh well, that was surprisingly pretty quick how he got rid of the other guy, and then this happened. We're like, oh okay, this is how we end it.
Well, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, So so we have next week's episode that's going to conclude the Mugen Train, and then on the 5th of December, we are going to be starting up Demon Slayer Red Light District arc, whether you want to call that season 2 or 3 or whatever, however you want to say it. We get finally new content, not this coming Saturday, but Sunday, right? So not this coming Sunday, the Sunday after that. Finally, man, I'm hyped. I'm chopping at the bit here. I love me some Mugen Train. This is great to get a little recap going. After 7 weeks, I think I'm ready for some new content.
Yeah, I think I just want to add this one little thing in here, but I think the main thing that this like little fight kind of shows is like the levels. As you said before, there was levels to this, and we're able to see we just always saw was Tanjiro's fights, and we saw that our boy was pretty fast and was pretty strong, but like seeing him in battle, it's like like Tanjiro and Nosuke can't even see him how fast they're moving. So I think this gets a little taste of what maybe Tanjiro and Inosuke are going to be able to do in the future, which I think is a nice little thing there.
Yeah, and there's a little hint of like Tanjiro maybe wanting to become a Hashira one day. So we're anime onlys, we don't know where that's going to lead, but the Hashiras are certainly the that next level as we're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good stuff. I can't wait for next week's episode. Next week's episode, if there's anyone out there that hasn't seen the Mugen Train, I know that you're living under a rock. But if you haven't seen it and you're watching this every week, next week's episode will be pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy climax. And then we start the new season. I'm hyped for that. So the weebs out there, guys and gals, comment down below if you're watching Mugen Train. If you've already seen the movie, then, how's it going for you? But if you're not, if this is all new content for you, what do you make of this sudden what would you call this? Twist. Just a twist out of nowhere, New bad guy just shows up. He's here to create some havoc. All right. Let's get into it, Germs. Let's get into it every single week. It's good. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Season 2. This is Episode 8, I believe, or Episode 19, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're finally here. We finally made it to the Central Continent. And like I said last week, because last week I said like, okay, I'd like to see some plot next week. Oh, baby. We got some plot. This week, they keep listening to me. Studio Bind listens to us. They tune in. And they give us exactly what we want. What did you make of this week's episode of Mushoku Tensei?
Oh man, just good stuff. Just good stuff, man. Like you got a little bit of everything here. You got a little bit of the man god. Him going back to his things. He's like, man, you keep showing me my old body, man. I thought I was done with this.
Yeah.
He's like, man, oh, well, hey, the man guy's like, hey, why don't you, if I tell you this information, we'll be friends. He's like, well, you keep showing me my body again, so I'm kind of pissed off at that.
Rudius was prideful, man. He didn't even bite. He's like, maybe we'll be friends. Maybe I'll take you up. And the human god is like, okay, that's good enough for me. And then he kind of tells him what he needs to know. But all right. So should we start breaking down the episode? So yeah, I think the episode started with that, right?
Yeah.
He's meeting. In the beginning we get to see the Central Continent. Let me just say again, I say this every week, but the backgrounds, the setting, it's so beautiful. Like every world that they go to, it feels like it's its own world. It's distinct. It's not like there's so much fantasy out there that doesn't have soul to it.
Fantasy.
Like it's. Like it lacks the fantastical element to it. Like like just generic buildings and generic townspeople and generic, forests and stuff like that. But Mushoku Tensei is not that. Not that at all. Every world that you go to, it's like you're transported to a new location. Like really, not just somewhere far out in this fantasy land. Like they're on a new continent. You feel that, and I love that. I love that about the show. But yeah, so he meets the human god, whatever you want to call him. I think he has a name. I don't know it yet.
I don't
And
remember. Yeah,
yeah, he gives him instructions, and
as usual.
yeah, as usual. And what's cool is that we get to see them kind of come through on this episode. So, he meets Aisha, right? His, I mean, sister, right?
Step
Right?
sister, sister on
Stepsister, whatever.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Which is cool, because he's kind of like fulfilling the prophecy, right? So he kind of rescues her, and then they get back to his place, and this was beautiful. Germ, talk to the viewers about what she really thinks about Rudy.
Oh yeah,
Such a
yeah.
good
Well,
callback to season 1.
yeah, she's all like, "Oh, my mom was like, I don't like this Rudy guy, my brother this much. I always heard about this box my mom had and for Rudy, and he's like, I don't know what it is. She said never to look at it, and I looked at it, and it was some panties. She's like, oh, this must be something mistaken. He's like, and then her mom was like, oh no, that's Rudy's favorite instructor's pair of panties, And she's like, wow, he must be a pervert.
Yep.
He's like, I don't like this guy. He's like, oh fuck. Oh, he's like, that.
Oh,
she might be right.
His facial expressions were so good, dude. But he's sitting there, like they do it subtly too. Like you could tell his face was moving. The way they animated it, so good. And in the Japanese dialogue, hentai, which means like pervert. So good, so good.
He's like, he's like sweating. He's like, oh, she's true. She's not lying here.
And then he comes up with some bullshit name, and she's like, oh, okay, cool. That's a cool name. But later she asks, what's your real name? But I thought that was funny, And she's like, you get the impression through the dialogue that she's a really sophisticated 6-year-old or 5-year-old or however, she's really young. So she's really like smart for her age. She's really like intuitive,
Yeah,
So,
because we didn't see much of Norn for his other sister. We didn't really get to see much of her because she was kind of just mad at him. But yeah, definitely Aisha is a smart cookie.
Yeah, and then he gets summoned to the palace or whatever you want to call it, right? And he thinks it's from Roxy, right? He thinks that he's sent there because of Roxy. And I, like, as a viewer, this is so great. This is such good storytelling. We know as a viewer, Roxy ain't there. I mean, it's possible she's there, but that's like not
all the way
good
going from
storytelling.
her parents' place all the way to Hero that fast.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense logically, and it'd feel cheap if she was there. So as a viewer, you're like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like they would have hinted to it or done something there, right? So it's like, okay, I don't think that Roxy's there, but okay, he's being summoned by Roxy, I guess. And then he gets to the door with the lady, and the mood kind of changes. You hear a man's voice on the other end of the door, and you're like, okay, something's going bad. You know something's going bad. And it's that little fucking twerp that used to fuck with Roxy.
Where Roxy,
York.
that one reaction face came from.
Yeah, Ginger York, I think is his name. And what a little shit, man. What did you make of that scene, man? You were expecting it, but I wasn't. I'm like, here we go. Here we go.
His voice acting, just the way he looks, is exactly what I'd expect from him. It's like, oh yeah, this is a little shit here. They made him exactly how I thought he was gonna be, and he just kind of puts a trap door, and then now our boy's kind of stuck in an anti-magic field. He's like, well, I don't know. I remember exactly how he ended on, but he's like, well, I can't use magic, so.
Yeah, and he also had, was it Lilia? He had like another girl there trapped, right?
Yeah, it was the maid. It was his maid.
Yeah.
Stepmom, whatever you want to call it. You already, everyone knows if you're watching. It's a weird relationship they got.
It is. And, man, it got dark, man. It got dark. I'm watching the official subs, right? I'm watching on Hulu, and he's talking about, yeah, I'm gonna keep you here as bait to get Roxy back. And then I'm gonna rape her in front of you, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is like, were your subs saying that too? I mean, I'm watching the official subs. I'm like, Wow, this got really dark. This got really, really dark. And even Rudy's like, well, how is she gonna? You have to spread that information. How is she even gonna come back here? And he's like, the information will spread. Okay, she'll find a way. Okay, so and earlier in the episode, Rudy did write a letter to her, right? So we'll see. I don't, I'm the anime only. I don't know how this transpires, but shit got real fucking.
That's why he got summoned, because he wrote a letter to the palace, like, "Oh, hey Roxy."
So that's
why.
sniffed him out.
Yeah, that's why he thought. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And I guess from the letter, they could figure out that his relationship with Roxy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's no logical reasoning that Roxy would just randomly show up, but maybe
she's already going. She already knows he's safe, so he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go find his mother and stuff." That's what her plan was.
Don't spoil it for me, but I don't know. It doesn't seem likely that she'll show up here, but I assume so. This is episode 8, and I believe there's 12 for this season. So I assume this is going to be the climax of this second half of the season. I don't know, but if it is, I'm happy. I want to see this twerp get the shit kicked out of him, dude. I want to see this little munchkin get fucked up. Okay, it got dark there. It got real dark. I'm like, damn. It's not even like he wants to lure Roxy and like, I don't know, try to like make her his wife or some weird. He's like, no, I'm gonna rape her.
Usual little villain, rich boy thing.
He's like, no, like I want to rape her in front of you. I'm like, wow, okay, this got really dark because we saw him in part 1, and he'd kind of give her a hard time, and it was kind of like comedic effect, but now it's no longer comedic effect. Now it's gone dark. So, what a crazy episode, man! What a crazy episode. Anything else to say about this week's episode?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite parts from the episode was like the little scenes that they always had in. But like when when they're all in his room and they all like sleep, and then he's like, "Oh, don't call me by my name, because she'll know." And then like Eris kept accidentally saying like, "Oh, hey Rudy," it's like it like goes like like moves the camera to the little sister, and she's still sleeping. It's like he's like Rudy's like, "Hey Eris," she's like, "What?"
Yeah,
like she didn't even know she was doing.
She's stubborn. She doesn't ever want to admit she's wrong. And again, a little bit of hinting here, man. Little bit of hinting here. She said, "Yeah, I'd like to meet your former master." Just little stuff. Just little stuff. I can't wait to see where this goes. Just little stuff. I forget who complimented who, but I think Eris complimented him. And she's like, "Why you get so weird every time I compliment you? Like stop taking it the wrong way." Little stuff. Just little stuff. I do like Roxy though. I gotta be honest. I don't know. I'm not gonna pick the waifu here, but I want to see where this goes. I want to see where this goes. I want more Roxy. We haven't had a lot of Roxy this season, so I'd like to see her back. And you got Sylphie too. I don't know. We haven't seen Sylphie in a minute, so I don't know. The waifu wars need to begin soon, though. I'd like to see where this goes. I'd like to see what all the hype is about. It's such a good episode. Such a good episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as always, a lot of little details that just really enhance the experience.
Yep.
Beautiful stuff.
Beautiful guys, gals, the weebs out there. Comment down below if you're watching Mushoku Tensei with us. How much are you enjoying the season? Are you enjoying it as much as we are? We are thoroughly enjoying the season, and we would love to hear from you guys out there. We really would. All right, so let's move on here. We have My Senpai is Annoying. So we'll talk a little bit about last week's episode 6, and then we'll also get into episode 7. Last week's was the grandfather episode. Anything in particular you want to talk about with that episode before we move on to this week's episode?
I thought it was just like the wholesome goodness, just like how much the senpai and the grandpa are like, relate to each other. that was so funny. All those little interactions that they had, like, they keep doing the same thing, but it's like, wait a second, why are you here,
Yep. I honestly, I kind of called it. I thought that would happen eventually, like two big dudes, two alpha males. They both have a relationship with Igarashi, and the grandfather is back, and he wants his little, he wants time with his little baby girl, and here she is liking senpai. Not the best episode. I liked it, but not as I think the week before was little side couple. They had a little bit of spice there, right? So I think I liked that one a little bit more. But this last week's episode was good too. Did you catch the your name reference in there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
when his grandfather went into the theater and he
What are
walked
the
out.
young people watching?
Yeah, what are the young people watching? And you see the poster and it's like a total knockoff. And he's like, huh? So I guess that young girls and boys just like they just swap bodies in their dreams. Okay, that's what the young people are up to these days. So that was a cool reference. I like that. But not, it was a good episode. It was. I expected a grandfather episode at some point, right? Like you can't kind of tease that character or not have him come in at some point. So.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And then let's get into this week's episode. So if last week's was the grandfather episode, this week's is kind of the Natsumi episode. There's a little bit of other stuff going on here, but man, what did you make of this week's? What did you make of this week's episode?
Yeah, I think it was really nice to see their, their relationship, and also Natsumi's, just past, just seeing, she looks, she looks like the athletic type. It's like, oh, so, she likes running and stuff, but, but it really hit that in that beginning when they're doing like, the little childhood, relay race, and she's like, oh, she's about to win, this is the usual, but then some, kid stomps on her foot and she doesn't get there. It's like, oh, okay, this is a lot different, this isn't just, your generic, little, oh, I'm athletic because, I'm good at sports, and,
right.
It's like, I'm good at sports, but like I don't like the competition aspect, and and then also with Igarashi with the drawing, it's like she can't really draw well, but she wants to it's the nice like realistic kind of
yeah, I'll put it concisely. Basically, this episode. By the way, that was a great opening. By the way, the when she's running and she gets knocked out, that was a great that was a great setup for the episode. But basically, what this episode is about, and we can kind of relate it to this podcast, is doing something because you enjoy it and you do it for the fun of it, not necessarily because you're good at it or the best at it. And I like that's just such a great life lesson, Here we are. We have this podcast. It's not the biggest podcast in the world. We don't have the biggest viewership. We started this year. We're trying it out. We're trying to see how to get it going. But that's not, it's not the end goal. It's the journey, right? Like we're having fun doing it, If we didn't have this podcast, every week we'd still be talking about this shit, right? So, yeah, just a good life lesson there. Just a good, I really like when episodes like stand for something. And I got to be honest, man, just because of that alone, I think that this is probably one of my more favorite episodes of Senpai. Like that's just a relatable topic, So the way that it sort of permeates throughout the episode, what's his name? Yuto, Natsumi encourages him to join the basketball team, even though he's not the best at basketball. Igarashi encourages Natsumi to join track and field, even though she had that problem where she didn't win.
And then Natsumi helped Igarashi.
Yeah, Natsumi kind of pushed Igarashi to do what is it? Art?
Drawing.
Join the art club, drawing club.
Yeah.
So again, it's that's the theme of the episode, man. It's not doing something because you're great at it or destined to do it. You do it because you like doing it, And so I think that's cool. I loved how the episode ended and she ran into Sakurai. This is Natsumi, and Sakurai's like, yeah, he's running every day. Like he's doing really good, but he also joined the basketball club. Again, just a cool, cool 180 there, So I loved it. And again, we had a little bit of background between Natsumi and Igarashi. What'd you make of that? Just seeing them, how they first met and all that?
Yeah, I liked especially how, how it is just so funny. It's like, oh, she's going, going somewhere like, oh, I'm lost. It's like, oh, I'm new here and stuff. And she finds her and it's like, okay, they're about to go to school together. And there's going to be all these little montages. And it's like, oh, well, see, I'm here at the arcade. See ya. I thought it was so funny.
And then Igarashi gets picked on a little bit because she's not the best artist at that point. And Natsumi comes and just beats the shit out of the guys picking on her. And I love that. Again, it reinforces the idea, Natsumi, like Yuto, he didn't, he's not tall enough or not great at basketball. Igarashi, she's getting picked on because of her drawings. Natsumi, she didn't win that one race. But again, it's not about being the best. It's about doing what you love to do, right? So I like that she kind of stepped in. And then, the other thing with the episode is the sort of picnic with the
Sakura festival.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, the little drunken tirade they had there. What'd you make of that? I thought that was a nice little element to the episode as well.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful. If I didn't see that one girl that always keeps bringing up vodka and stuff, if we didn't see her drunk during a party, she's a fake fan, but she's a real one. Yeah, she's a real one.
She's a real one. She's a real one. And even the what would you say, head man in the office, kind of the boss figure there. He was kind
Singing.
of, he's doing the karaoke and shit. So God, such a good episode, man. Such a good episode.
It's
Even
just feeling good episode, man.
feel good episode, and it also brings depth to the characters too, right? Like you get to learn a little bit about Natsumi, and last week's episode was cool. Like the grandfather episode was cool, but this kind of adds an element of Igarashi and Natsumi's relationship, right? You get to see where that kind of came from, right? So yeah, I thought it was good. Anything else you want to add in particular about this episode? I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think they're getting a lot of the foundation stuff down. We don't know much about
Yes.
Senpai, but we know like a lot about Igarashi's past and her relationships with her family and friends. So I think we got Igarashi's her backstory done and good and nice and set up. Maybe hopefully maybe the next 2 episodes or so, maybe get some senpai backstory or something, and then we end up with like a nice arc between. I don't know. We'll never know. It's every episode's always something totally new and different. So I never know with these kind of shows.
That's what you
stuff.
want, a little bit more backstory and a little bit more character growth with Senpai. Because I guess you're right. I mean, he kind of has been like a one-dimensional character up until this point, a little bit, but we love him for that. But that's kind of what you want, just a little bit more Senpai.
Just a little bit more. Yeah, we got some with the grandpa stuff, just maybe like another episode, personally. But I think after that, I think it's all set up and we just, start doing, the daily life of, and their relationship growth, that kind of stuff. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, we got 12 episodes for this season. This is episode 7, so we got another 5. We're a little bit over halfway. So like you said, I feel, again, we're too like-minded here, man. We need to get people on the show that disagree. I think I agree with you. I think a little bit more senpai, because again, they're getting the foundations right. I think they're really getting the foundations right. I like that you said that. And then like a nice little arc to end it, maybe a little hint of romance, maybe, whatever they want to do. Even Sakurai and what's his face, even they're kind of getting a little bit of development. so like, yeah, I guess the only one lacking at this point is just a little bit of senpai, and then give us a nice little send off for the season, and bam, good season of anime. Good season of anime. So guys and gals,
and it'll have all. Oh, I just want to add, like, they don't have all the foundations for, like, if it's second season. Oh my god, we'll have a Kobayashi season 2 on our hands here, because they already have all the good stuff. It's just like now it's only just goods.
Then they can go ham on. Then they can just be like, all right, it's time for the romance. You learn the characters. Now it's time for some awkward situations, some blushing. Some because they listen. I love the show because they're already hinting at that little romance, but. Man, once you build all these foundations, then the second season could go to town with that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, good stuff, good stuff. As I was saying, the guys and gals out there, the weebs, comment down below if you're watching My Senpai is Annoying with us. We'd love to hear what you guys thought of this week's episode. Let's get on here. Let's end our roundup with Komi Can't Communicate, episode 7. We'll talk about last week's too, episode 6. So let's touch on episode 6 real quick. Basically, I'll just touch on the 3 main components of the episode. Komi goes to the mall with all the peeps. She picks out Tadano's outfit. Cute little moment. Then she gets a haircut by a hairstylist that's kind of familiar with her. That was a cute little segment. And then they go to the library there at the end, which I thought was hilarious. Kind of a nothing of an episode, but still really fun for what it was. What'd you make of last week's episode before we get to this week's?
Yeah, it was a nice comedic and a little bit of seriousness, not really seriousness, but more normal aspects. So it's like, okay, her picking his outfit and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's really where the main development there was. Everything else was kind of just comedic and / just character development kind of stuff.
Did we talk about the week before that when? Because the week before that was the rain scene at the end. I think we talked about it, but God, so beautiful, right? And then we kind of get last week's, which is like a little bit of a slower, fun episode. But last week's ended off with summer upon them, and they're all going to meet up. And so, what do we get this week? We get the beach episode. We finally get the beach episode. So yeah, episode 7 this week. We get the beach episode. What did you make of this week's episode? Because we finally get that classic beach episode here.
Yeah, I think it was nice and just like a little bit of development between the two main characters. Our boy awakening a new fetish unknowingly.
That was funny. That was good.
A little bit of comedy, and then like once Komi like trips and like gets a little scraped, and it's like okay, now it's a little bit more. She's kind of like a little sad. It's like I just sit here, and then Tadano just showed up like hey.
Yeah,
we get a little nice one between them too.
And then the rest of the gang was like, "Yeah, we're gonna carve out that piece of concrete that hurt Komi." I mean, it's so over the top, but like at this point, you're kind of familiar with it. Like it's part of.
It's just doing anime things, yeah.
Yeah, and when they all showed up in the beginning, and what's his face or her face or whatever. Their face. They're like, yeah, I didn't invite them, and they're all just there. That was funny. That was good. But yeah, a cute little moment between Komi and Tadano there at the end. And remember, like in the beginning, Komi she had like the school beach outfit, and she's like, no, let's get you a real outfit. And then she walks out, everyone's swooning over her. That's just like part and parcel of the show at this point, right? Just everybody swooning over Komi, but. But for a beach little portion, I thought it was good. Right?
Yeah, you get a little bit of spice. Seeing those outfits, they really like they like showed all the characters like, oh, this is where her outfit looks like. Get a few shots. Yeah, and just did that for all the girls. So a little bit of spicy etchy, and that's from a beach episode. But a little bit of serious character development between the two of them. So. Just nice episodes. Not that I don't really think this was one of like the top for me episodes, but it's a nice good episode.
Well, let's move on here. So we have that beach segment, and then after that, we have another segment between Komi and her dad. She this is before she goes to the library, so they just go get like shaved ice, but they like just such a subtle moment, but a beautiful moment. Like. He's kind of awkward too, I guess. Like he kind of has communication issues, or maybe he just has communication issues with her. He wants to ask her how school's doing, and he eventually does. But yeah, just a cute little short segment, but cute nonetheless, right?
Yeah, like especially like when she gets the when she has too much shaved ice and has the
and
brain freeze.
It's like passes her the hot chocolate or the coffee or whatever.
It's like
good, and then she passes it back to him. Just like the small moments, Germs. The small moments add up and they count. And then at the end, Komi goes to the library. She has trouble, picking out a book, and she goes to a park. This was kind of random for me. She goes to a park, has fun. Tadano sees her.
That's so cute.
That was cute too, because instead of having her flustered, instead of creating a scene, he's just like, all right, I saw something cute today, and he just kind of bikes off. So yeah,
he didn't return his book.
Yeah, I don't think he ever did, right? So I think the beach part was probably the strongest, but I really, really love seeing that moment between her and her father. And yeah, I mean, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
It just feels
right?
good.
I mean,
it just feels good, Not like big brain, thinking about all this stuff. It's like, oh, it's just I'm having a good time, That's that's just how it be,
Yeah, we love us our rom-coms on this show. We really do. And yeah, I think that ever since episode 5, not last week but the week before, when that scene in the rain, they're blushing a lot more around each other. So again, I didn't expect that season 1, man. I thought that this would just be like friend of the week, or trying to get her to come out of her shell, but there's that hint of spice there, Germs. So yeah, good episode from me. I don't have any complaints. Solid watching this week. Guys and gals, the weebs out there, comment down below if you're watching Komi Can't Communicate with us. What did you make of this week's episode? We thought it was pretty damn good. And with that, we move on to the winner of the week. What is your winner of the week, Germs?
So it's always a tough one, especially this season. This season has just got banger after banger. It's so hard to pick, but I think for me this is a more easy week for me personally.
Same. Same.
But we don't try to agree. We always we don't talk
we
about
might
this.
Disagree here. You might throw me a curveball, but I think I know what you're gonna say. I think you know what I'm gonna say, but I'll pass it to you. We're not scripted here. What's your winner of the week?
Yeah, my winner of the week is Jobless.
Yeah, it has to be. It's hard to go against Jobless, man. It's just hard, right? Like any other season, Komi would be like killing it. Senpai would be killing it for us, and they are killing it for us. But Jobless, man.
Jobless is that
every week. Every week it's just too good. It's too good, Germs. It's too good.
Yeah, I just think how funny it was. Just like the year or so ago before Jobless, and you're like, "Oh, Isekai, come on!" I'm like, James, this is.
Hey, I'm still like that, okay? But Jobless is different, okay? But yes, I would say that it's expanded my eyes to Isekai. Hey, if there's another Isekai out there like Jobless, you tell me immediately, Germs. I will go binge that immediately. Fortunately, I do think that this is just the best one out right now. I really think that it's like the best the genre has to offer. I really believe that. I think it's so good. I think that the adaptation is so good. I think everything about it is so good. I think that the storytelling is just, it's doing what it needs to. I'm very much anticipating the end of this season. I can't wait to see how it ends. I know that don't say anything, but it's too good. It's too good to compete with. So yeah, Jobless is going to be my winner of the week as well. Comment down below, what is your winner of the week? We'd like to hear. It doesn't have to be from these 4 shows that we talk about. Anything that is new and premiering this week. What did you watch, and what did you like the most out of everything that you're seeing right now? We'd love to hear your winner of the week. And with that, we need to continue on to our news of the week. We got some spicy topics. We're going to first start off with Made in Abyss Season 2. I love talking about Made in Abyss. I love talking. There's certain shows on our podcast that we're gonna hype more than others, right? Like Mushoku Tensei, right? Like we're just gonna love talking about that more than other shows. JOJO, right? Like we've talked about JOJO countless times.
Toro.
And yeah, foreshadowing here, right? And Made in Abyss, we've talked about it a little bit, and we have to talk about it again because Season 2 has a new PV or trailer, whatever you'd like to call it. And we know that it is coming 2022. We already knew that. I believe we talked about on this program before, but we have a new teaser pic and a new trailer. We have a bunch of casting announcements. Unfortunately, we're not super familiar with all the Japanese dub actors, right? So we can't really speak to that unless you know any of them by heart, but that's a little
memorization.
Crazy.
Good joke.
Yeah. So what do you make of this trailer and this teaser pic?
Because this is very interesting because right where I stopped reading was right at the end of Bone. So this is
okay.
I didn't see anything after that. I was like, I was just so like in awe after Bone arc, and I was like, oh, I need to let this sit. It's beautiful. I can't. I don't want to rush perfection here. I just want to see an arc. I'm like, beautiful ending there. Let me take a little break, and I never got back to it. But
yeah, and
this is a totally different.
Even if you just saw the movie alone is like, oh, let me let that sit in. However you experienced it, that little arc was pretty crazy. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I never got back to it. So I was like expecting this. I saw the preview picture, and I'm like, ooh, who? Who? And then I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, it's gonna show a lot of our main cast, and it's most of the trailer was not the main cast. And it's like, whoa.
Well, at the end they gave us a little bit at the end, but 90% of this is a new cast, and that's intriguing, isn't it?
Because the characters are always so fire, so it's okay, like we already know how our main cast is, but it never hurts to have a little side characters going on.
Yeah,
it seems like from the trailer and just my knowledge of the lore, it seems like they're going into the abyss, but they already kind of look like they're already from the abyss, but. I saw them go.
The new characters.
Yeah, the new characters. I
was like, terms, they're already in the abyss. But yeah, I see what you mean. The new characters. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Where the hell are they? Are they in the abyss, or are they like some? Because remember, the abyss is on this big ass island, right? So there's more to the world that we don't know, and you don't know any of this new content. So are they part of are they from the upper? Are they like sea level or land level? Like, but somewhere
It seemed
else?
like because I can't expect a normal looking ocean like
Yeah, it
depths
has to be,
below.
right?
Because
Yeah,
then
that's not in the abyss.
and I saw the island as them like going towards it. So I'm like, oh, they're going into the abyss.
It's
Because like
gotta
you look
be.
at them,
It's
because you
gotta
look
be.
at them, and you're like, oh, these are they're kind of like what was her name, Monaco. They're already the furry girl. It's like, oh, they already look like they already have like some effects, but I think that's just how they naturally are or something. Because it seems like they're going into the abyss.
Nanachi, right?
Nanachi.
From the OG cast. Yeah, so it's gotta be. They gotta be maybe like outside the abyss, going into the abyss, or like maybe
Yeah,
there's another way into the abyss or something. I don't know, but I'm excited. Do me a favor. Don't fucking read the manga, Germs. Let's react to this live on this channel. I'd like to do that with you because, God, this is going to be so... There's certain shows you watch, you're like, that would be spicy to watch every week, right? And give your, like, honest thoughts. Like, something like Erased or, like, there's certain shows where you're like, that'd be crazy to talk about every week. JoJo, but we're not going to get that. That'd be great if we could get that every week. But Made in Abyss, this will be such a blast to talk about every week. And the teaser. There's also the teaser pic as well. What do you make of that? I think that looks beautiful.
Yeah, like because I saw that and I'm like, oh, that seems like they're already in the abyss and some kind of, and they already have like that. They already look so weird. It's like, okay, they're people from down below, but no,
Yeah.
it seems like they're coming down here.
Yeah,
I don't know. This just seems so weird. I'm so thrown in a loop, But I'm interested to see their story and their adventure is here. See how they go down the abyss, because we had because our main cast, they kind of had like a little bit of an in the first few layers they had a more easy ride. They had Odin or Odin, I forgot her name is, super strong chick, kind of help guide her and train her, but like these guys are just going right in, so it's gonna be very interesting to see how this
and
is.
I'm also wondering, is it maybe a flashback? Are we maybe gonna meet them currently in the abyss, but we're seeing
their journey
their journey into the abyss? Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I think it's going, but I don't know.
We have no idea.
Is Cinema Citrus spelled with a K? So, but from the movie, from the first season, they gave us such a beautiful adaptation of Made in Abyss. I really, 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 really hope that they keep up the quality with the second season. I think because of COVID, a lot of stuff has been pushed back. So hopefully
they've been taking their time.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of time to work on this project. Hell, maybe because the sequel was the third movie, right? The first two are recaps. Shit, man, maybe I'll watch the first two movies and then the third and get caught up again, because I'd love to be completely present for this new season. But yeah, taking a journey down into the abyss, man. I'm excited. Again, it's a new cast. We don't know shit about it, but Made in Abyss, that's all I need to know. And it looks, the trailer looks good, so I'm hyped.
Same.
Weebs, comment down below if you're excited for Made in Abyss. We'd love to hear from you. And if you've read the manga, are we getting into some good territory here? If you haven't and you're anime onlys like us, are you just as excited as we are? So yeah, Made in Abyss, good time. Let's get into some more JoJo news. JoJo Part 6. Lots of JoJo Part 6 news recently, huh, Germs? Is getting a one-shot spinoff. I don't know who it's not Araki. Is it?
Well, it says it's being drawn by someone else, but I don't see anywhere where it says or doesn't say who's writing it. So I'm assuming it's a
Kameno G. Maybe the name, maybe not. But basically, we're getting a spinoff. It doesn't look like it's Araki's artwork. I'm not a manga reader, so what do you have to say about it? You've read Part 6, so what do you?
Yeah.
Are you interested in this?
Yeah, I'm done to read it. It's a one shot. It's not like it's it's gonna be easy to read. I know I've seen the that anime Kimono Jihan.
Oh yeah.
The art has a really unique art style, as you can see with the poster, and so I'm just interested to see what they can do with the.
That connects the dots. So the author of that one is Aimoto. I believe they're doing the one shot. So okay, that makes sense. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they can do with the because it says it's continuation of Part 6 or something. Let me. I don't know. Let me do a quick look there, but
kind of a spoiler, because I don't want to know how it ends, but interesting. Yeah. So I guess I'll finish part 6. However they're gonna feed it to us, 12 episodes on one day on December 1st. So fucking random, but I guess I will devour part 6 and then I'll go read this. So yeah, I mean I don't have much to say about it. I'm anime only, but
I'm interested to see what they do on here. If it's something that continue on from how the part ended, or is it like somewhere in between somewhere, or a prequel like or something?
Side story.
Don't know, but I'm down to see what it is. It's only one. It's only one chapter, so it's not gonna be any problem.
I'm just still pissed that 12 episodes on one day. What the hell is Netflix doing? But I get it. They like their whole model is binging content, right? That's why they always release their stuff all at once. But what the hell, Netflix? What the hell? So yeah, interesting. We'll show you guys the graphic as we're talking about this. It's a little bit different artwork. You can tell it's not Iraqi, so that's cool. I'll have to wait till I'm done with the season to check this out, but I'll check it out nonetheless. I'd like to check out that Rohan spinoff manga as well.
Kichibi Rohan.
Yeah, because they got 4 episodes on Netflix. I watched like 2 way back in the day, but it wasn't really good enough for me to go back. So I'll probably just like read that maybe, and then maybe I'll check out this one shot too. So
it's very good with JoJo right now.
Yeah, lots of JoJo right now. The JoJo fans out there, comment down below. Let us know if you're hyped for this one shot, and if you're hyped for part 6, even though they're kind of going to get it all at once. We don't know how we're going to tackle.
I don't think it's all at once.
No,
I think it's only like a part of the
12.
Just so much at once. Yeah.
But after that 12, I believe they'll probably give us another batch all at once, and then probably like a third and final batch all at once, knowing how Netflix does it. There's no reason for them to give us 12 at once, and then like, okay, now we'll give it to you weekly. That's not how Netflix works. So they're going to probably give it to us in batches, and yeah, thank you, Netflix. Lovely decisions you guys got going. So we don't know how we're going to cover that. Of course, we'll talk about it. We don't know how we're going to review part 6, but we will. We will talk about it. We'll just have to decide how we're going to do it.
First part, second part, third part, or whatever.
I guess.
I'm just a little. Hopefully, the quality is there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because JoJo's always been quality, so it's like.
Yeah,
we know who to blame. Like, we know who to blame. When you change a variable in an equation, there's the only thing that's been changed here. Dave Productions still Dave Productions.
Mappa did Yasuke, right? But in conjunction with Netflix, and that didn't come out the best. We've seen House Husband. What else came out on Netflix this year? I know that there was something else that came out on Netflix this year that we reviewed, but.
Record of Ragnarok.
Record of Ragnarok. We know. Hey, I didn't hate that as much, but people hate that shit. So we know when they license up with Netflix, it changes things, maybe, right? So, David Productions, please, just
please
stick to the program here, okay? Stick to the program here. We just want that. Just end out this first Universal arc, whatever you want to call it. Just give us 1 through 6 perfect. If we never get 7 and 8, fine, I'll fucking read that. But just give us 1 through 6 perfect, Please. So that's our rant, I guess. And with that, that's going to be the end of our episode. That was a good week's episode. Anything to leave the people with before we sign off here, Germs? Anything to leave the people with?
It's just the weekly, Jeremy's playing TCGs and finding new ones every once in a while. It's just how it's been. I'm loving. It just came out a few weeks ago, but a Weecross. If you're playing that, you're
in
a real
English.
One
it came out a few weeks
in
ago.
English.
It's been out in Japan, killing it. But yeah, we finally got it out here in America, and
beautiful art.
I don't think that there's another TCG where I prefer their art over Weecross. So I'll just say that. I don't know how the game is, but you know that the game's good, so that's good. We're gonna have a special of just TCGs with you. You're just gonna
it's gonna be like a 2 hour long, 3 hour long. I don't know how long it's gonna be too long.
I'll just be like, all right, guys, this week's discussion is
Jerry's going crazy,
and I'm gonna hand over the episode to Germs, and I'll just shut up, and he's just gonna talk for 5 hours.
5 hours.
You'll show the people. You'll show the people what you got, because you're building up a little dungeon with your collecting And
I'm slowly getting surrounded by these cardboard pieces. Yeah.
yes.
But I gotta keep it in control. Gotta keep it in control.
Yep. And that's something that we do not know how to do here on the Weeb Retreat. So that's good with you. That's good with you. Like we mentioned previously, look out for some end of the year specials. I don't think we're ready to announce. We'll announce them like early December. We'll have a game plan. We're gonna tell you guys that we got 2 planned for you guys. So if you are subscribed to the channel, we genuinely appreciate that. If you're not, please hit that sub. You don't want to miss what we're gonna have coming out for you guys. They're gonna be a lot hopefully higher quality and better content than what we're putting out now. These are gonna be some spicy specials that you're not gonna want to miss. Celebrating all of you that watch the show, we genuinely appreciate it. So, all right, Weebs. That's going to be it for the retreat today. We hope you enjoyed your stay. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you are Weeb like we are. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, awesome. We appreciate you. Give us a follow on there. With that, we will see you guys next week. Any final thoughts, Germs? Anything to leave the people with?
So many breaks and vacations are about to start happening. It's going to be so nice to have all this extra free time.
Yep, end of the year, and then beginning of the year, everything just ramps right back up, right? So, Weeb's out. We will see you all next week. Peace.
Peace.